Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we will take last part, that is part number 6 of 7th chapter. In this part we will take reductions using this diamide and reduction using triethyl silanes. Right, and then we will take the chapter's end problems. So first we will take reduction with diamides. So first important point about it is that it will do reduction of only symmetrical bonds, whether it is double bond or triple bond, it will do reduction of that one. Like you have carbon double bond carbon, carbon triple bond carbon, carbon nitrogen triple bond nitrogen, means these two atoms should be same. If you have unsymmetrical type of bond, means you have carbon double bond nitrogen, carbon double bond oxygen, nitrogen double bond oxygen, then it will not be reduced by this diamide. Right, first important point is this one. Then second important point is it will do reduction of less conjugated double bond first. Means if you have two options, that if you have two type of conjugated double bonds, one is more conjugated and another one is less conjugated, then reduction of less conjugated double bond will be done first. For example, in this case you have two types of double bond here, right? It will not reduce functional groups will remain unaffected, they will remain unaffected. So here I have ketone and epoxide, these two will remain unaffected. Then I have here this double bond, it is conjugated with this ketonic bond as well as with this one, and this double bond is only conjugated with this one, so this will be reduced only, right? Other things will remain unaffected. Then next point is it will do cis addition of hydrogen, means both the hydrogens will be added from the same side, right? Then next thing is here I have used this type of reaction conditions when I want to create diamide. So two or more things are possible whenever the reaction of diamide is given. Diamide is NH double bond NH, right? So they can give you directly this one as a reagent, or they can give you different conditions in which they are going to generate these diamide. So first possibility is the heating of tosyl hydrazine. So when we will heat it, it will decompose and it will form diamide. Second possibility is hydrazine oxidation. This is hydrazine, and if I will do its oxidation in presence of copper salt, for example oxidation using oxygen or H2O2 in presence of copper salt, then it will form diamide. Third possibility is they can give you azo-dicarboxylic acid derivatives like this one. This is potassium derivative of azo-dicarboxylic acid, right? And when you will use acetic acid with it, then it will form diamide, right? So these are all important properties of these diamides. Then we will move to reduction with trialkyl silanes. So trialkyl silanes, generally triethyl silane is used for this purpose, right? So first important point is it can convert alkynes into vinyl silanes. This is using cis addition. This point is important, and if you want to understand the role of vinyl silanes and alkyl silanes, then you can watch my video on Claydon book summary. There I have told you in detail reactions of these vinyl silanes and other silanes also. Then second thing is it will convert ketones or carbonyls into silyl enol ether. This is very common type of reaction, we all know about it, that it will form silyl enol ether. Then third point is aromatic amines will form amines. Then fourth point about which these two reactions are given, that acid chlorides or esters or thioesters in presence of this palladium over carbon, they will form aldehyde. So this acid chloride will form aldehyde group. Then similarly in this case So this thioester group will form aldehyde and this bond will remain unaffected. This NH bond will remain unaffected. Otherwise it can, this palladium over carbon can cause hydrogenolysis, but in that case, in this particular case, it will remain unaffected. The next reaction is the most important reaction. Next few reactions are the very important reactions of that this triethylsilane. Other reactions are not so much useful, but these reactions are very useful. The reaction with alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde or ketone. So here I have two types of double bond. This double bond is isolated one and this one is conjugated with this ketone, right? So here I have triethylsilane and triphenyl phosphine rhodium chloride, which is called as Wilkinson catalyst, right, in first step. So we know that Wilkinson catalyst can cause reduction of isolated double bonds, but whenever I have this triethylsilane, then this rhodium chloride will act as only catalyst. It will not do reduction of this isolated double bond. It will remain unaffected. Only this conjugated ketone will be reduced. And how it will reduce? That this bond will shift here, this will shift here, and this carbon will take proton from this triethylsilane and this Et3Si group will attach here. Means first I will get this type of product, then I am using a base and MeOH, so H plus will be generated and this bond will break, this will shift here, it will take proton and it will form ketone back, right? So this is very important reaction. Then if you have triethylsilane and TFA, TFA is trifluoroacetic acid, then reaction will become more important. Instead of this TFA, you may also have BF3, means Lewis acid can also be used, right, in this reaction. So here I have some important points about these two. First is it can cause reduction of carbon, double bond carbon and ketonic group into hydrocarbons. They will form hydrocarbons. Then second important point is it can cause hydrogenolysis, particularly when I have carbon halide bond and benzylic carbon OH bond. This part is very important, right? Then third point is reduction of aromatic ketones. So this I have there, here I have this double bond, this ketone, right? So first point is that this bond will shift here, and or you may consider it like that first this oxygen will form a bond with this triethylsilane and then this bond will shift here and this proton will be removed, then it will attach with this carbon, right? So first I will get this one, then this trifluoroacetic acid will provide a proton which will combine with this oxygen, right? So I can directly write down a bond here. So oxygen will get a positive charge, then this bond will break, this carbon will become electron deficient, so it will take, this carbon will take hydride and then it will form this one, right? So direct point is that this ketone will be removed and you will get hydrocarbon here. So this reaction is very important. Then next important point about this is the reduction of acetals and hemiacetal. So we have here, this one is your acetal and this one is your hemiacetal type structure, right? So for in the first condition I am taking triethylsilane and TFA. So these two oxygens will be removed. This is your acetal, and now you know how we can synthesize acetals. So it will be removed, this part will be completely removed and you will get this type of structure, right? Suppose you have triethylsilane and BF3 here, right? So how you can do this reaction? That first step is that I am directly writing here, suppose this one is your this is oxygen and this is suppose R dash, and I am only writing this part, right? Next rest part is this one. It will remain unaffected, nothing will change here, only I am taking this OH group, right? So first step is this triethylsilane will combine with this oxygen, right? Then next thing will happen that BF3, this BF3 which is electron deficient, will take electrons from this oxygen, so it will form a bond here, oxygen will become positively charged. So and at this stage we have here H minus, right? Hydride is released from this stage, so this hydride will attack on this carbon, this bond will shift here, so this whole part will be removed, and what we will get here, this OH is completely removed while other things will remain as such, right? This part will be completely removed. So this reaction is also very important. Now you can do the reactions of this triethylsilane. Only remember, two reactions are very important. If you can't remember all these reactions, few things are very important, that the reaction of alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde and ketone, and reaction when we are taking this TFA along with this triethylsilane. So these reactions are very important. I have seen many examples, many questions based on this reaction, so please do practice of it. Then we will take chapters and problem. So this reaction is very simple, that we are taking here only palladium, and we know that this palladium will reduce this double bond, it will reduce this double bond, right? This ring will remain unaffected, this ester will remain unaffected, and this hydrogenolysis, nitrogen oxygen bond will undergo hydrogenolysis and amine will form here. If you have watched the video on these palladium and nickel other catalysts, metal based catalysts, then you can easily do this one, right? Next one is, in this case we are using hydrogen palladium over carbon in presence of ethanol and HCl. So you have to find out the mechanism of this reaction. So first thing is, so in this example this double bond and this double bond will be reduced first, right? These two will be reduced, it will undergo hydrogenolysis, right? So in first step what we will get here, right, we will get this type of product. Then we have HCl in the reaction, so it will provide H plus, which will combine with this oxygen to form OH plus, right? So this carbon will become more electrophilic in nature. Then this nitrogen having lone pair of electron will attack on it, this bond will shift here, right? We will get OH here, or you can write down it in 6-membered ring form. It will form a 6-membered ring, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, right? So right, we will get this type of structure. Then because we have here this nitrogen and this carbon chain attached below the plane, so hydrogen attached here should be above the plane, right? This will be the condition. It means this ring has a structure like this, means these two hydrogen are on above side, this ring has somewhat structure like this, right? So in that case this side, this cavity side will not be attacked, any incoming reagent will not attack from this side, it will attack from the less inner side. So remember this point, we will use it a little bit later. Then in next step a proton from this nitrogen will be removed. So we will, when a proton will be removed, we can remove a positive charge from here, and this proton will attach with this oxygen, right? Now we can shift the lone pair of electron present on nitrogen to this bond and water will be removed. We will get this type of structure. Then it will undergo reduction, this imine will undergo reduction using this palladium over carbon. Then next thing is that what will be the attachment side of hydrogen, because I have told you here that these two protons are on the above the plane side, that this cavity side will be hindered side, right? It means protons will be attached above the plane from this side, from less hindered side, right? This side will be hindered side. That is why on this carbon after reduction proton will be attached above the plane and this alkyl chain will go below the plane, right? We will get our final product. Then next question is very simple. They are just asking that which double bond will be reduced by this Wilkinson catalyst. Only isolated will be reduced, this one will remain unaffected, right? So we have to reduce only this one. Then this question is also very simple. You know that this iridium complex, we have already discussed about this iridium complex in our previous videos, that how it can reduce. It can reduce mono substituted, di substituted, tri and tetra substituted. All type of double bonds can be reduced. So these all double bonds will be reduced by this one, right? Then next question come that what will be the attachment side of protons, as shown here that this proton is above the plane, and similarly on this carbon the proton will be above the plane. If methyl group is on the below the plane side, then proton will go above the plane side, right? So how we can decide it? So when I have told you about this iridium complex, in that part I have told you this one also, that site of attachment of proton, and the site of attachment of proton is governed by the group attached here at allylic or at homoallylic position. If we have alcohols or ketones, they can suggest the site of incoming proton, right? So this, the site of attachment of this proton will be same as that of this carbon. Or you may consider it like this, that this iridium complex, what the mechanism is, that this iridium complex form this iridium metal form a complex with this carbon having oxygen, it form a complex with this oxygen and this double bond, right? Because the side of this ketone is above the plane, this amide is above the plane, that is why it will also attach proton from the same side of the. And in addition to that, it is also true that for this ring, this type of ring, it is your decaline type of ring, and when it will form cis decaline means suppose this proton will go above the plane, right? Then the site of attachment, it has a structure like this also. So these group, this proton and other group is on the are on the above the plane side, and this cavity side is hindered side. So proton will not attack from this side, it will only attack from the above the plane side, right? That is why it is also attached here. So there are two reasons. First is that hindrance, and second one is that iridium form complex with this ketone, or we have alcohol here, and it suggests the attachment side of protons, right? Then next is the reaction of zinc and acetic acid. So we have already discussed about the use of this zinc and acetic acid, that whenever you have alpha halo, alpha hydroxy, alpha acyloxy group attached next to ketones, then they will undergo removal using this zinc acetic acid. So how this reaction will happen? In case of halogens, I have told you there that the reaction mechanism is slightly different than alpha hydroxy groups, right? If you have any doubt about the reaction mechanism of alpha hydroxy group, then you can watch my video on this zinc and acetic acid. I will provide the link of all videos of this 7th chapter in the description box, so you can go and check out there. So this zinc will attack on this Br, this bond will shift here, and this will shift on oxygen. So in first step, what you will get, this one, then it will undergo reaction with this acetic acid. It will first form OH here, then we can tautomerize it to ketone. So main point is that only this Br, which is at alpha position, will be affected, this one will remain unaffected. Then next question is based on the reaction of dissolved metals. So one point is important here, that dissolved metal can show cleavage of carbon nitrogen bond and nitrogen sulfur bond. They can cleave them also. Carbon sulfur bond and nitrogen sulfur bond. So here I have this one as carbon sulfur bond, and this is nitrogen sulfur bond. This tersyl group is this one. So this nitrogen sulfur bond will be cleaved by this dissolved metal. So what is the reaction mechanism? I am showing it here only, that first electron will shift on this sulfur and one will shift on carbon. So we will get radical here on this one and this one. So I will write down the radical on this carbon structure only. One radical will be generated here, one will be generated here, other things will remain unaffected, right? Then they will take electrons from this ammonia and sodium and ammonia, so it will form negative charge here, right? It is not actually negative charge, it will combine it will remain attached with sodium also, so it has a N minus and sodium plus type of structure, but because for only our convenience I am writing here only negative charge. And out of these two negative charge, this one is more reactive, this one is less reactive, because it is close to a electronegative atom which is already electron already wants to attach with this negative charge. That is why it is less reactive in nature. So first this negative charge will take proton from sodium and ammonium, because we do not have here any alcohol which can provide H for both of these negative charge. So only one negative charge will take proton and you will get structure like this, right? Then we are using methyl iodide in the reaction, so this negative charge will attack on this methyl and I will be removed, so you will get your final product. Then next reaction is that they are asking us that what type of reagents we can use to get only this aldehyde reduced, this alpha beta unsaturated ketone should remain unaffected. So we know that alpha beta unsaturated ketones are less reactive than aldehyde. So we have already discussed in lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride chapter that how we can do selective reduction of aldehyde or ketones, right? So if I am using here lithium tertiary butoxy tri tertiary butoxy aluminum hydride, then I can do selective reduction of this CHO, or we can use tetrabutyl ammonia triacetoxy borohydride, means this type of structure, right? We can use this one also. Then next reaction is based on the our previous chapter, that is 5, where I have told you about the use of boranes, and we are using this oxazolidine here. So we have discussed there that in case of ketones, I will write down it in this form only. We have two type of alkyl groups attached here. This one is, suppose this whole part is your R and this one is R dash, and you can easily recognize that this one is larger part, so I will denote it by RL and it is by RS, right? So in previous video I have told you that this oxazolidine will form, this boron will combine with this oxygen, right? And this nitrogen will combine with this boron, so you will get a complex like this. So because this bond is above the plane side, that is why I have drawn this ring like this, right? So this methyl will go in this side. I have told you in that chapter also that why I am drawing this methyl on above side, because this is your cavity side, this one is cavity side which is hindered in nature. That is why this ketone will attach from the less hindered side, that is this side, less hindered side, it will attach from this side. And always your RL bulkier group remain away from this cavity side, and this nitrogen will also combine with this boron from the less hindered side. So two things happen here, that it will attach from the less hindered side. Next thing is these two on the same side, so we can easily transfer hydride from boron to ketone, so it will form OH. And you can also write it down like this, that your RL will go on less hindered side and RS will come above the plane side, right? So when you will draw this structure like this, and you will try to rotate these alkyl groups and OH in such a way that your OH will go below the plane, then you will get your RL in the same direction on the left hand side. If you have any doubt, you can watch my previous video. There I have told you in detail that how we can rotate these alkyl rings and to get this OH on the plane desired, to get this OH on the above the plane or below the plane side, right? So in this particular example, your RL is on the left hand side, and on the when it is on the left hand side, you will get OH on the below the plane side, right? If you have any doubt, I will again say that you can go in the description box and see my previous video on the same topic, right? It is, I think, chapter number 7 part 5, right? So you can watch it there. Then next question is very interesting, that it is example of your Wolff-Kishner reaction. So in Wolff-Kishner reaction, what we do, we generate first hydrazones and then we use base to get your reaction final product, right? So in case of Wolff-Kishner basic reaction, we convert carbonyls into hydrocarbons, but we have already discussed in previous chapter that if we have leaving group at alpha position of your double bond, then you can do a different type of reactions with this Wolff-Kishner reactions also. So in this example, they have already given us hydrazone, so we don't have to synthesize hydrazone. We will only see how we can use here this Grignard reagent. The reagent is, the base is also different here. They are using Grignard reagent. Generally we use KOH or any other base, triethylamine, but this time it is totally different. So basically this Grignard reagent will provide me butyl minus. So it will first attack on this carbon, this bond will shift here, right? The mechanism is slightly different, right? We will get this type of structure. Then in next step, this negative charge will shift here and this tosyl will be removed. Then in next step, this bond will shift here, this will shift here, and this will shift here, right? Your epoxide ring will open, right? So you will get this type of structure. This is your final structure. So the mechanism is slightly different than our basic reactions of Wolff-Kishner reaction. So please, I will suggest you that please do all the theory part of this chapter number 7 and all other chapters of this Carruthers work before doing problems, because if you don't understand the concept, then you cannot do all these problems, because in examination they will not give you directly the problem as such, they can give you slight modification, and if you have a concept clear in your mind, then you can easily do all the problems, right? So this is the end of chapter number 7. In next part I will try to start pericyclic reaction in brief way, so you can cover all the pericyclic reactions before your net examination. So please do practice and keep revising. Thank you so much for watching. All the best for your examination, and if you like my videos, please share my videos with your friends. Thank you so much.